Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris Holme, and today we are back playing more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 with your Colorado Avalanche, two-time champions now in this save so far. We're on the verge of a dynasty. We've got a chance for 3 in a row. Last year we won the cup. We also took this young man, Connor Bedard, first overall. So we had Minnesota Wild's pick, and they basically had the first overall pick. So he's not the greatest player that we'll ever see, but he's a really solid two-way hockey player. When he gets his mentals up, when he ages up a little bit, those mentals will grow, and then we'll probably see him being very effective. He's quite quick, he's quite good at shooting, he gets open, good shot at him, but he's solid defensively as well. So yeah, we're quite lucky there to get him. We have a shot now as well. I haven't looked at this. I don't know who's got the first overall pick. But we do know that we have both Vancouver and Vegas's picks. And that puts us at 7th and 8th overall with 2 shots at moving into that top 3. Again, Minnesota are down there. We got the 2nd round pick from Washington. We didn't get the 1st round pick from them. Instead, I opted to go for LA, who barely made it through, and then got all the way through the playoffs to the Western Conference Finals, where we put them down in our march to defend our title. So yeah, really I should have had not gone for LA's picks, but we didn't expect them to make the playoffs, nor to make a run through them. Instead, if we had gone for Washington's pick, like we had the opportunity to, or Minnesota's pick again, we could have been in a much better situation. But no, we got Vegas, we got Vancouver. That's okay right now. So there's a chance. There is a chance. So our 3 first round picks that we got, probably 29th I think it'll be for LA, and then we're sitting on 7 and 8 that could move up. So we're at the draft. I've done a little bit of pre-scouting. It looks like defensemen are really good. There's a few forwards. Don't really like any of the right defensemen or goalies in there. There's not really a lot of depth in any position bar left defense. There's some good left wingers, a few good right wingers, few good centers, but really I don't like much, at least at the top end, right defense, goaltender. So do we get number 1 overall? Washington, Minnesota, Nashville. Ooh, Ottawa move up to 2. Ottawa move up to 2. Okay, it's not a big jump. So they move from 5 to 2. And that's all there is. So our picks don't go changing in that case, do they? So we're going to sit then 7 and 8. And 17. Oh, so it's not about where they finished in the playoffs, which I thought was how the game did it. But yeah, they barely made it into the playoffs. So I guess because they were the lowest ranked team, or one of the lowest ranked teams not to make it, to actually make it in the playoffs, then they get a low pick. Okay, so we got 17 and 7 and 8. And then we got 32, which will be Washington, and 33, which will be Minnesota in round 2. We've also got 37. And then that might be us done. No, we got 46. We got 46. So we've got a ton of top 50 picks there. Everything comes in inside that top 50. So those second round picks are good. Best players in the draft, there's not really much. Number 1 overall should be Craig. I like Craig a lot. Two-way defenseman, I think. I really, really like Andrew Craig. And then we got Yemelyanko, who's Russian, and I don't want to go for Russians if they're going to feel isolated. Okay. At 7. If Craig or Yemelyanko fall, then I'm probably going to have to do that. But I think Craig should be number 1. Yemel should be number 2. Dupuis, Nikitin look like they're probably going 3 and 4. I like Katten a lot. He's fairly ready. I mean, we could go for him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I really want to go with this. Okay. Craig to the Capitals? Yes, Craig. Yemelyanko goes number 2 as expected. Deckard goes number 3. Okay. It's a little bit further down than I had him. Jesse Dupuis, number 4. Not totally surprised there. Katten goes. And Balog goes. Oh. Okay. So I've just got this little sheet that I'm building for all this. So what do I want? I probably need defensive players. I probably need to take a defenseman early. Nikitin's there, though. I like Nikitin. Probably the best player there. Okay. Four-star potential. I think that's a no-brainer. Big guy that's not ready yet. Or an offensive small guy who's ready. I don't really want to go offensive here. I don't want to go offensive. I don't like the goaltenders. I think we're set on goaltenders. I'm not really seeing any names that I really like. Sharp I kind of like, but I also kind of like Kivahaju. The Flame could be decent. Not really a defensive player. Physical player, Jaeger, but again, more attacking. And then Flaska. If I'm going for a defenseman, I think I've just got to go Kivahaju. I think I've got to go Kivahaju there. He might be offensive, but that's fine. Okay, so Loken went. Jaeger went. That's early for Jaeger. Okay, goalie. Kurashek, Hart, Gale. Pretty much the only right winger I was seriously considering early. And Alex Williams. And Rick Ware. Okay, that still leaves me Toivola and Sharp and Flaska. Still leaves me all of those. Also leaves me Gibbons, who's who's probably not going to be that good, but is right up there right now. I don't need that. I need youngsters. I do need something to develop. Who do I go for here? So I went for Nikitin, who's a decent, I believe, a two-way forward. Kivuhajo, I believe, is an offensive defenseman. Do I just go defensive defenseman? Who do I think is more defensive? Toivola, Flaska. Hargren looks a bit more offensive. You're a forward. Oh, I didn't look at Sharp. Yes, Sharp's defensive. Sharp is defensive. Sort of the 3 stars. I've got a couple of players rated higher. Including Wall. If I'm going to go for him, I might as well go for Gibbons. So yeah, we're going to go Sharp. Let's see what's there at the end of the first. Let's see who falls. Yeah. Let me just move my list so I can see exactly who went where. And yeah. Toivola, we knew he'd go fairly quick. Cruz is a surprise. I didn't really expect him to go that early. But Wall we were tempted with when Pulisic and Gibbons both went. And Laflamme's gone. Okay, Stigson, Post. I didn't really like those too much. Byron, no. Nico Babin. I kind of liked. So Mets, Gadula. Fesso was a good two-way player. I had my eye on him, Frick. Okay, so I've got a list of 5 now. I've got a list of 5. Oleson's in there. Oleson's in there. Kadelkin is in there. But again, an offensive player, I think, in both those cases. I've got a couple of players not on this list, and Flaska, who's right at the top. Do I just go? Let me stick to my list. So I've got Flaska, and then I've got other players I like, but I can't see them. Stigson went 24. Stigson went 24. I was hoping he'd fall to the second round for me, but he doesn't. Okay. I guess I'd take Kadelkin. And then I've only got 2 more that I thought might make it to this point. Sadrak, Levine, Finlay. Okay. So yeah, Martin, I don't like. Oleson's probably offensive, but he's solid all over. Rudnek, same with a chance to start. Yeah, this draft wasn't that deep. We're not even really just starting the second round. Where what's this? Pick number 6. And we're almost out of 3-star players. I guess I'd take Olsen. Again, he's the top name on my little mini board of players I like the look of. Olsen, Dubois goes, Halgren goes. Stolar was next man up. Okay, I think I'm picking pretty much blind. And this is my final pick, yeah? This is my final pick. Okay. I don't like Legault. I don't like Martin. They both got low defenses. Okay. What are you like? What are you actually like? Great temperament. Just not very good. Not physical. Doesn't handle pressure that well. We got Vigorov. Disappears. Rudnech. I mean, he's thought of very highly. It's just that our scouts don't rate him very highly. Okay. He seems to play a lot of roles, like, really well. 16 defensive read. I like that. He's a two-way hockey player. 6 foot, 200 pound, two-way hockey player. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. He'd be a solid player, regular player. Third, fourth liner, Rudnich. So he likes money. He's not that loyal, but he is sportsmanlike. Team leader. First class hockey sense. Plays position. Yeah. At this point of 46. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? That will be my draft class. And they all fit in with what we're doing now, which is building that bottom six. So I think the top six is good. Like right now, I think the top six is good. And if we get Austin Matthews, who knows, maybe I trade out McKinnon, go for the younger guy who seems to be a lot more consistent, at least defensively. I don't know. But yeah, I knew we were deep in the left defense category. So, even though our first pick off the board was, I believe, Nikitin, like, he could be a decent two-way hockey player, I think. Again, though, Russian. But again, team leader, lots of roles. I kind of liked him with 4-star potential. We'll see where that goes. Then, next, we picked up Kivuhaju. Again, solid player, can play a multitude of roles. 19 offensive read. Like, just an absolute beast in the making, possibly. So, again, I don't know what we've really got there. It's another offensive defenseman, but so's Bowen Byram. He doesn't really do defense great, but he seems to get high defensive ratings in the games in the playoffs. So, You know, if Kivihaju goes that way, then perhaps we got a pair of left-handed two-way players, and we'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. And then we just continued on the depth. It was at left defence, so why not just rack up with Walt Sharp, who we really think is going to be a good defenseman. High determination, defensive defenseman. So if Kivihaju is an offensive, at least then we balance out with Sharp. And again, I like some of his stuff. So, yeah, he's got a temper, but he actually performs well under pressure. I like that. He needs time. He needs a lot of time. Then, again, after our first pick being a centre, we went for the trio of left defensemen. Matej Flaska, who, again, I have to go with the depth. Great temperament. Solid defensive. Again, I think he's more of a defensive defenseman. You know, he's just a little better, but he's almost a two-way defenseman. We'll have to see where he plays. But it's got him down as a two-way or a little bit of a stay-at-home, old school. He can be a bit of a puck mover. But realistically, we don't need him to be. So, I like that. So, it's going to take some time. Again, a little bit of a temper, but we can work with that. Yeah, and significant potential that might be good, and he can play a lot and student of the game. So this is really why I went for these players, my opening four. After that, they kind of fell off. I didn't really scout too many after that opening 10, 20. I wanted some to fall that didn't. So, Kadaikin, great temperament. But yeah, definitely looks like a playmaker, an attacking player. Good stamina though. Okay, so if he thinks he can get a better deal, he'll be gone, but he's not in it for the money. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. He's really not... Yeah, unless he's going to be a first or second line center, he's not going to survive in the league. So, potential though. He does have potential. 3-star. Maybe we can trade him later on. I still think he was a decent later pickup. And then Ulison, I didn't really like right wingers, but at that point all the left wingers had gone. We'd seen Wall especially, I really liked Wall. But he'd gone. So, Ulison, passing, shooting, offensive read. It's just not really anything different to what we've got, sadly. So yeah, didn't like him a whole lot, but again, he'd be solid. And Rudnek we saw late on just can play anywhere, and it really does look like with those reads he could be a defensive sort of a player as well. Really good on the puck, but very capable on his own end. Professional, determined. Bit of leadership and a couple other bits that we saw. Like, I don't know. I really like that pick. Really like that pick. And that puts us in a position going into this season now where Ulison and Rudnek could play third, fourth line minutes if we wanted to. Tuononen, Husu could play. Kivihaju could play. And then we got players like Benz and Sharp who might make that jump. So we don't really need to. But we could do that. We got a very good young team. But yeah, honestly, that was a decent draft, but I'm not sure that Nikitin's a top 10 pick. Kivihaju maybe. but I had him third in defenseman. I don't know why Deckard went that early. I really don't know why Deckard went that early. I love this, but he's an okay offensive defenseman with 3-star potential. You know, highly volatile. Like, I don't know kind of what Minnesota saw in him. Yemelyanko is just phenomenal. Very durable, you saw there, and a little bit meh here and there, but a ton of potential, and you know, we see where that goes. And of course, the real quality was Andrew Craig. I think this is a Hall of Fame type player. So, yeah. There was no suggestion of anyone going above him for me. Yeah. So the Caps have an absolutely amazing defenseman. Dupuis was also someone I wanted early. I was really hoping that we could move into the top 3 to maybe take him. Because again, really good. And what looks like a good two-way player as well. I'm not sure quite how good he can be. But he plays well under pressure. Really good two-way player. Great senses. Like, if I had picks 1 and 2, I would have gone with Craig and Dupuis. Those were my guys. Sadly, we sit at 7 and 8. We've got to go with a backup center and a backup left defenseman. And not my top 3 in either. I had Katin up ahead of Nikitin as well. But we had to go for the Russian and Kivahaju. But Yemel'd already gone after Craig. So, sadly, 7 and 8, we picked our third choices in both positions. But they were fourth choices overall because Deckard and Balog went when I really didn't see much to get sort of super excited about. Defensive center for sure, but if I'm taking that early, I want a lot more attacking. Bit of a big bruiser. Doesn't handle pressure. Like, I don't know. I didn't see that much out of Balog, so yeah. Let me know what you think of that draft and where we can improve and what we need to do. I'm starting to look at this team, though. And over the season, for those that actually played. So, Soderholm didn't play. Not going to really say much about that. 30 games with a 52, 53, 50 rating. Yeah, I'm not fussed with Leshevsky right now. Miro, 45 games, really didn't play well. Coates, I mean, I would have expected him to be a good third or fourth liner. Again, we just didn't see anything out of him, so maybe his position is up for grabs. Legkov, a lot of games, again, didn't play well on either side of the ice. But all these players are down third, fourth line minutes. And they're all fairly offensive players. There's one or two that I think play two-way hockey. But really, I think that really hurt the team in the playoffs a little bit. And it's probably the reason for these poor stats. Lindgren didn't play. Coyle I was expecting a lot more from two-way hockey. But again, it looks like he's primarily attacking. We don't want that. Broberg solid enough on the defensive end. Zadina offense. Zegras offense. Bedard looks like a two-way player. I like that. Fode's more offense. Sandblad, like 15, 13, 15, 11. Definitely an offensive player. But his highest rating was defensively. I like that. He's got the offensive skills, but he shows up defensively. So Sandblad, in my book, is perfectly okay. So Broberg, Sandblad, and of course Bourne Byram, who, again, should be slightly more offensive, but is really good all-round game. And add that into Kivuhaju as an offensive left defenseman. I think we've got our 4 guys on that side. So it's just about seeing who else shows up. So Fody and McCarr, they're probably good enough. But then like a Lundgren, I don't know. But yeah, moving back up to it, you know, Theo Rocher, decent two-way player, but I've got him. And I've got Bedard. And I've got McKinnon. That's too much there. I've got a decision to make. If you want to see one or the other, let me know in the comment section below as well. Dobson, solid all-round game. Good season from him. Volstead only played 10 games. Didn't do too good, but we know the potential's there. So we're going to wait on him. We're going to wait on him another 2 years possibly until Gibson's done. Or we're going to maybe pick up somebody else to run in front of Gibson right now. And that would give us a hell of a trading piece. Line 8, really good offensively. Doesn't show up defensively at all. Byram, solid. McCarr, solid. Gibson, okay, but best goalie in the league. If we can improve that defensive core around him, I think we're good. Rantanen, great offensively. Okay on the defensive side. So, for a top-line guy, Rantanen and McKinnon are there. Line 8, a little bit weak defensively for my liking. But yeah, the best 6 players over the season is that first line. Gibson in net, Byron on the left, McCarr on the right. Line A then on the left wing, Rantanen on the right wing, and Nate up top. You can't really fault that first line. Then you got Volstead, Dobson, Sandblad, Fody, so 2 out of 3 defensemen there. Then you got Rocher and Bedard, who I really don't know which one of those to pick. Really. I mean, Bedard's going to be cheaper. He loses a point defensively and a point mentally for being 4 years younger. I don't know there. And Zegras and Zadina on the wing. Second line, I think, then would be good. Bedard, Zegras, Zadina. That's if you want to keep Zegras out on that left wing. We certainly could, but then we are really missing a little bit of toughness on that line. Again, I was hoping Coyle would step up there, but I don't think so. So I don't know. Let me know what you think of the lines. Let me know what you think of the youngsters and what we're going to do there. Who should we call up from this depth chart? I'm really not sure. I think we got too many great young offensive players. We really need to make an educated guess at who's going to be the better two-way players to play third and fourth line. Well, two-way players to play second and third line. And then better defensive players on the fourth line with our best offense on the top line. So I think that's kind of how I want to set up the team a little bit. But yeah, Line 8 might not show up two-way hockey, but he shows up on the score sheet. 113 points, I mean, it's just filthy. With Byram, McCarr, Line McKinnon, Rantanen, that's just wonderful. Yeah, I just need to add a bit of grit. And then I think we'll for sure see a better Gibson. If we see a better Gibson, then we probably have an easier playoff path. And then we don't have to worry that much. It's kind of what I'm going for here. It's kind of what I think could help us. So now we've got basically last 8 days of re-signing. We've already done ours. We do ours early days. But we're going to sit here with a week to play through and figure out who's going to make it. If Austin Matthews is there, I'm going in. Like, I've got to. If anybody hit the free agency like Austin Matthews, I don't care what you'd offer. Like, you've got to go for him. I think he's a better two-way player than McKinnon in this game. I don't think there's much of a downgrade offensively. There is one, but I don't think it's much of a downgrade. And also, we'd be able to pair him with Laine and Rantanen on that first line instead of McKinnon, which means you're gaining defensively. You're probably going to see his offense spike. And of course, by getting that free agent, you're really able to throw a lot of money at him because you got $12 million for McKinnon coming off the books. Being able to trade him away, which should pick up any defender or goaltender I want, which then probably frees up John Gibson if I go goaltender to pick up any defender I want. So just that one move really, really helps us out. So not manager of the year, 59 wins and a second consecutive back-to-back Stanley Cup victory. But we're not manager of the year. Interesting. We reached the playoffs, won it. Big percentage, finished first, got the finals, won it all. 47 points. And then I'm just going to throw 3 and 3 and 3. Okay. End of re-signing stage. Over to free agency. Does Austin Matthews come available? And if he does, what's it going to take to get him? I did write down as well if they were restricted free agents or if they were unrestricted. So yeah, my top two choices in most of these positions are restricted. So Carter Hart is restricted, but Connor Hellebuck is not. He's an unrestricted. Hughes is going to be a restricted free agent. So that Boston defenseman I like. Lacombe as well. And then we've got Drysdale, who I've drafted before. He's restricted on the right. Lafreniere and Guenther are both restricted, but both probably worth the price. Let's not mince words there. They are both looking phenomenal. On the right, Podkolzin is a restricted free agent as well. So DeBrusque, DeBrincat, Connor Hellebuck, and Austin Matthews are all unrestricted. So if we did put a big boy contract down on Austin Matthews, there's no offer sheet, there's no matching. We just go into a bidding war. So if he wants to hit the open market, if he wants to come to the Stanley Cup winners on the back of a disappointing draft where 2 top 10 picks really didn't pay off for us, that would make the offseason such a success. As I say, that would leave McKinnon open to trade for any goalie I wanted. Being able to trade for any goalie I wanted there would open up John Gibson. John Gibson would probably open up for me to trade for any defenseman I wanted. And then we'll have a spare defenseman to trade. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of moves we can make here. We got a lot of moves. We've got cap room. We've got young players. Please. Please. Let's go to July 1st and get me Austin Matthews. Make this the most ridiculous save I have ever been a part of. This is already the best team offensively I've ever assembled. It's very unbalanced. I wonder, do I go all in as well, and even with an offer sheet, do I go and put up a contract for Lafreniere, even if Austin Matthews is there? John Gibson's determination goes down. Yeah, we may be moving on from him. We may be moving on from him. Let's see. Poirier. Popov. Not much else here. These top 10 players. Doesn't seem like a lot here, so... a couple of left wingers and a right defenseman. Left defenseman, right defenseman, right defenseman. Okay, a couple of wingers and some defensemen. Didn't see a goalie in there that looked great. Really don't see that many centers at all. Never mind good ones. Okay. Okay. Who made it to free agency? Oh, boys. Oh, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. So Lafreniere re-signed. Guenther re-signed. Drysdale re-signed. Hughes, I believe, re-signed. Lacombe, I believe, re-signed as well. They're the left defenseman. Carhart, Askarov, both re-signed. It's pretty much all the restricteds re-signed. At least from what I can see. One made it through. The Helbeck is there. The Brusque is there. The Brinkat re-signed. Ooh. I've got 3 names. I've still got 3 names on my list. Only one of them is a restricted free agent. So we've got to decide if he's worth paying the money for. Vasily Podkolzin. Is he worth paying the price? Okay. So he could be a decent second line player. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we like him. He's a solid middle 6 player. Solid middle 6 player. Ooh, that's a big contract. That's a big contract. Yeah, that will put him... Okay. More than Roche, more than Zadina. We've got a lot of contracts coming up as well. We've got a lot of contracts coming up. A first and a third for a second line player. I just don't think so. Okay then. Brendan Tracy went on for a big deal. Spencer Knight signed a big deal. Quinn Hughes is there. Gunther, not too bad a deal for him. Bobby Brink got a decent deal. Carter Hart got $9 million. He got less than Spencer Knight. Wow. Okay, I think Hart's a better goalie, but okay. Newhook gets his deal. Good luck to him. Okay, so I think I'm on about 6 something. Yeah, see, that would be like 8 odd, wouldn't it? Okay. That's not a bad contract. It's not a bad contract at all. There's going to be players like... There's going to be players sort of getting deals day one. Matthews is not going to be one of them. I've got to make that move. I've got to make that move. 13 and a quarter. I've got to make that move. Hellbuck on a big deal. Oh... I would only be signing him to trade him. Really. Yeah, nope. I'm just in on Matthews. Okay, DeBrusque, I don't think so. Beignet, who are you? Solid. Responsible. You're cheap. I don't mind that. A little bit of depth. Berger looks to be offensive. Strupel is offensive. Yeah, there's solid players out there, but there's nobody that really stands up. Beignet could be a decent player to be brought in. That allows us to probably move on from Theo Roche and Nate McKinnon if Matthews comes in. Ooh, Matthews and Bedard. What a centre pairing they would be. Wow. Yeah, no. I think I'm okay with just that. I think I'm okay with just that right now. Okay. Score date and see. And remember, 12 million nearly of that deal comes off if we trade McKinnon. $12 million comes off the payroll. So 13 and a quarter. It's basically a 1.5 more than we give to McKinnon. And I think that's a great deal. And in fact, I could keep them both if I wanted to and trade Rantanen and probably save myself the big boy contract Rantanen's going to ask for at the end of this year. Currently on 9+, so's Line A. They both want new deals. So, yeah, we got to keep rolling. We got to keep rolling. And some of the Avalanche players I do feel are a little bit underpowered on this game. So, that's why there's been so much change to date, and there will continue to be change. And even the top guys, like McKinnon and Landeskog, they're not going to be sort of out of that. And wow. Well, I said he wouldn't sign day one, but apparently giving him $600,000 more a year than he wanted is all it was going to take. Ooh. 8 years on, he leaves the Maple Leafs. He signs a big boy deal with Colorado. But at 26, he's in his prime. He's in his prime. And Benier's still thinking about it. I mean, sure, you think about it. So yeah, we've got to drop 8 million out of this. We've got to drop 8 million out of this. But I'm looking at dropping 17 between McKinnon and Rocher. That is exactly 17 million out of the budget. So then that puts us like way down from where we need to be. And then that means Cale Makar and Dobson can get new deals. That means Line A can get a new deal. That means Rantanen can get a new deal. And we'll see just how much that's going to cost and what we think we can do with it. And we'll also be adding in another center who can play, so we can make our mind up on who we're looking for long-term top 6. But I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Last year we get Bedard first overall after winning the Stanley Cup, thanks to the Wild winning the draft lottery and us having their pick. Didn't happen this year. We did win the Cup. And then free agency, Austin Matthews is sitting there and we get him day one. Just, is it just me? Or have the last 2 seasons really fallen into our lap? Bad goaltending, bad defensive play from the team, but 2 President's Trophies, 2 Stanley Cups, a number 1 overall pick that I really, really like in Bedard, and Austin Matthews in free agency. What a 2-year period. What a 2-year period. Unbelievable. Now, we do have to redistribute a ton of attacking talent around the league. I do tend to draft attacking talent. So, okay, Benier's just hasn't signed yet. He hasn't signed yet. Chase Sakic with Minnesota. Jokahaju goes to Buffalo. Title back, yeah. There's some decent moves being made, I've got to say. Again, if you wanted to skew the system, then you could get someone like Skarek, 4-star potential, 24-year-old goalie. Parsons as well. You could get Maysek and Guzda and Husu. You could get all of those players. I think we do have Husu. Yeah. Okay, so we can sign Husu. That's what that says. And then put Coles in and Struble. Yeah, free agency on this game. When you get a few years in, like, you can build a second, third line. Easy. You can get a starting goaltender either now or for the future. And then you can build an entire second line. An entire third line. You could probably find the right players for a fourth line if you're willing to put the work in on that. Potential players, current abilities. So really, if you're like me, you trade away your depth early on. You trade away your lower picks. You decide to run with a very light team year one. And you trade for future first and second round picks. You can get your top line off those. And then as the stars age, you'll be able to trade those guys away and be able to pick up younger guys to come in and replace them. So you're going to get your top lines in. But free agency, you can get a starting goaltender and anything from the starting five. So any second line, third line, fourth line players or bottom four defensemen, you can really build that way. And get great value out of it. You can get some great value. Okay, who have I got to sign? Rantanen be a big boy deal. Line be a big boy deal. Kill McCarr, I mean, that's going to double. I'm thinking that's 11 for those two. So I'm probably up 4. I think I got another 5 then in space, I believe. McCarr's going to go up another 2. Dobson's going to go up another 1. Slavkovsky's going to try and go up, but I'm probably going to trade him out, so that's fine. Yeah. I think we're getting really tight now. I think we're getting really tight on the budgets, but we'll be just about there. So, Husu does need a deal. Husu needs to be signed. So he is in free agency, but we do have the rights to him. And Burns and Sharp next year. And then, yeah, see, these are third line players. We go with a scoring third line. I think we're okay. I just need to make sure we got the right players in to play on that bottom line. So 2-0 and the 2 right wingers, Olsson and Rudnich. Let's put Kivuhaju on there. We've offered Husu a deal. Let's hold off on Benz and Sharp. We pick them up next season. And then we got time on the rest to figure out exactly how that's going to come together. But yeah, I think we're definitely going to have to trade either Rantanen or McKinnon. I think we're definitely going to have to trade. Yeah, I can't see any way around it. Theo Rocher, we're going to have to trade. And then I don't know what else we might need to. I'm going to hold off on the re-signs for a little while. I want to see what we get. But there we go. That's where we're going to leave it for now. Austin Matthews is a Colorado Avalanche player. We're transitioning now. We are transitioning to the new era where Byram and McCart are my top defensive pairing. We've replaced Landeskog. We might be about to replace Rantanen and or McKinnon. Maybe. Yeah. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. So yeah, join me next time to find out what we do, how we break apart this team and rebuild it. And if I have it in me to build a defensive fourth line that can shut down opposition's top lines. If we can give that goaltender a bit more help on the back end. If we can balance the team and see where we go. But right now, I'm really excited with Patrick Laine and Austin Matthews up top and Byram and McCart at the back end. I think defensively we're okay on the top four. We need to get some defensive for the third defensive line. We need to get some defensive players as well for the forward sort of third and fourth lines. And then I think we're where we need to be. So let's see if I can get that done. I'll see you next time to find out when we take over the entire league and set up the dynasty with the Colorado Avalanche as the GM here in our series on FHM6. See you guys soon.